in terms of the emerging market currencies, we know it's been a one-way street pretty much for a lot of them for a while. A lot of currencies getting beaten up. Mexican peso had a great day today. Is this something that's going to help emerging market currencies more broadly? Is this going to last for the peso, for that matter?
Well, I think it's an interesting one going forward just because we have seen a little bit of an easing of concerns around emerging markets over the last week or so. That was supported by the fact that everyone took a backward step away from the Turkish lira and selling down there. And also the Chinese yuan, just some of the stability there we've seen too, providing a little bit of support to that as well. So I think at this point in time, the fact that there's a little bit more risk appetite in the market, concerns around trade war fears, as well as the fears around an explosion in certain emerging markets, given the right circumstances or wrong circumstances really, that there is the opportunity for some of those currencies to find themselves supported, those markets to find themselves supported too, and that sort of lower volatility environment certainly obviously trickling over into developed markets as well as that risk appetite increases.
Just want to stay on the Mexican peso for a moment. I've got a Bloomberg chart up that looks at volatility. Not surprising, it's back to a pre-election level when López Obrador was elected just earlier this year. Is this if you're a trader, what are you watching for now in the headlines, in the news flow for the next couple of days?
Well, I think we're just going to look for a consistent line, particularly out of the Trump administration. Now, of course, what's been really difficult to predict out of the White House in recent times, almost through the whole cycle in terms of Trump being in the White House, is that there can be a bit of a whipsawing between positive news, a bit of a friendly development between nations, and then that turning around based on what sometimes appears to be political expediency within the United States. And of course, considering the fact that we're coming up to midterms over even in the US with you guys as well, how the political story may play out to make sure that Trump can obviously sell the Republican Party and the Republican cause as best as he can coming into the midterm. So I think really the thing that's been killing markets over the last few months is the fact that we can't ever really feel as though we're getting a nice consistency to things. Now, if we see this story and this sort of amiability continue from the White House, you would imagine that that's really what markets are going to need to see to be able to say, okay, this is the real deal this time, or we can take this seriously and we can start piling up a little bit more in terms of the risks that we're willing to take and have that effect see spill over, say, into the equity spaces as well as into support around emerging market currencies.